Welcome to the God Academy podcast. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our post-September Israeli elections podcast. And hi, Ariela Yashar.
Hi, Gil. How are you?
For someone named Ariela Yashar, you have a strangely American accent.
I'm Jewish, but I'm not Israeli.
So you are here to help people who are not Israelis try to figure out what the hell is going on. What the hell is going on in the Israeli elections?
Yes.
So we're gonna post the whole thing on Patreon. Ariela, you are also a patron, a long-time patron, and we're gonna post a shortened version here on the podcast. And if you want to listen to the whole thing, you can go to patreon.com/gotacademy. I'll put a link for the whole thing in the description.
Yeah. So we'll just start with what I know to be true. You had an election in April. Bibi had, I want to say, a plurality, but he didn't have enough for a majority. He couldn't get a coalition together. So then he was supposed to let the president do something that would have given his opponent a chance, but he was like, no, fuck that. So he decided to call for new elections because he thought he could get a stronger majority.
Yeah.
But that did not work.
That did not work. Okay.
And so this time Benny Gantz got a few more votes than he got, but he also didn't have enough for a majority. So now there's going to be weeks of just negotiating until they can figure it out.
As one person on Facebook wrote very eloquently, we are like an old bird that has lived in a cage for years. And the door is open, and we're like, no. Or we're like Rick, and we're like, you can go. We're like, no. Something is going to happen. Something is going to get fucked up. I can't believe that it actually worked. Because it just dawned on me yesterday. We fucking won. We won. He lost. We won. That's it. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to create a coalition. There's a lot of inside baseball going on there. I'm not sure how much we want to get into the nitty-gritty, but he needed 61 seats out of 120. He got 55. He has no way to create a coalition. He doesn't have even his party is not the biggest in the parliament, so he doesn't even have a case to say that I should be a prime minister in a unity coalition with my opponent.
Right. So isn't the whole thing he needs the religious right, and he also needs Lieberman,
yes.
But he can't have both because Lieberman's not going to go with the ultra-orthodox.
Yeah, so the coalition that Bibi created these past few years was a combination of center-right and right, whatever, in his own party, the Likud, the ultra-orthodox, and the crazy right-wing extreme religious parties. Some of them are borderline Nazi or even not borderline Nazi. Super crazy people. And fascists who think that they own this country even though they serve less than anybody else in the military. They get so many fucking budgets in the settlements. They have zero unemployment. Almost half of them work for the municipality, and they feel like they own everything. So, because Lieberman, he's an extreme racist right-wing guy of Russian descent, because he is not stupid, and he saw that Bibi is just devouring all his allies and betraying all his allies. Last time he said, you know what? I want a different coalition, not the same one that you've had these last few years. I don't want to be with the ultra-Orthodox, but that was a cynical move, total cynical move, because he's been sitting with the ultra-Orthodox, because he sensed that Israelis are tired of religious studies in school. We don't have civil marriage. We don't have public transportation on Saturday, all kinds of really annoying stuff. So he ran on that just to get Bibi out of office. And he won. He got more seats. Bibi got less seats. The right lost between 200 and 300,000 votes out of 6 million. That's a lot. 6 million votes total. Yeah.
It seems to me that maybe before he needed to work with Bibi to be part of the majority, But now that he has more power, he's like, I don't have to do that if I don't want to, so fuck off. Like,
yeah, because his career was in decline. Like his whole shtick was I hate Arabs. Arabs are horrible. Lieberman was saying I hate Arabs. That was his whole thing, running years. Like I speak Arabic, I know Arabs. I will murder the heads of Hamas. But that's a very crowded field in a in a very small ticket. Hating Arabs, that's like everybody on the right wing politics. They're like, I hate Arabs. So he's like, I don't have any room. So you know what? I hate the ultra-Orthodox. Yes, that's who I hate now. I've been sitting with them like in the government for 8 years, but you know what? I don't care about the Arabs. Now I hate the ultra-Orthodox. He got almost like a 50% bump. And Bibi needed, the thing is, why this election was so crucial. Bibi needed the 61 out of 120 in order to take control of all the levers of power, of everything, dismantle the Supreme Court, the judicial system, the press, everything. Because he, on the 2nd of October, is going to face 3 charges of corruption, including bribe. So he wanted maybe to fire the Attorney General, whatever. He needed 61. He doesn't get 61. So he's going to stand on trial. He's going to go to fucking prison. He's going to go to prison. Okay, let's not count our blessings, whatever, too soon, whatever. I don't know how you... So, yeah. Okay, so the racist right-wingers, Benjamin Netanyahu among them, and Lieberman among them, they don't like the fact that Arabs have a say. They don't like Arabs, so anything and everything that Arabs do or say is automatically terroristic in nature. Like, if they want to complain about Palestinian villages, for example, dumping their garbages where they're not allowed to, then that's like environmental terrorism. If they want to advance all kinds of stuff in the UN, so that's diplomatic terrorism. I heard that they have terroristic teeth brushing also, all kinds of really, really nefarious stuff. So Ariela here asked a question, but her recording didn't work when she asked it, so I'll repeat the question. She wanted to know how the Joint Arab List was created, because there used to be 3 or 4 different Arab parties famously bickering within themselves, and when the racist extreme right wing in Israel headed by Lieberman and Bibi wanted to get them out of parliament, assuming that they will always bicker because the Arab population, like any other population, is not homogenic. So they have liberals, they have socialists, they have religious, and they have nationalists. Astonishingly, different kinds of Arabs, which would have meant back then that only one party would get in. But they got united and got 13 seats now for the second time. So thanks, racists. Last time in April, they weren't able to agree. So they were in 2 parties that got a combined 10 seats because the Arab population was like telling to their politicians, what are you doing? They were like very disheartened by the fact that they couldn't reunite under the joint list. But this time, not only were they reunited, but Bibi made his whole campaign on how they want to exterminate the Jews. They try to steal the elections, bombing everybody every day with these fucking messages. So guess what? They were like, okay, fuck that. We're going to vote this time. We're going to vote. So instead of 49% voting, they got to 60% voting. And again, got back to 13 seats. And I saw some things on election day that I've never seen in my life. You saw Arab politicians on the prime time mainstream media news, just like being treated like normal people and just expressing how they were hurt by all the incitement and racism. And nobody was telling them, are you for terrorism? Are you for this? Which is like how all the interviews ever go. And it was just like really moving. Things are fucked up because, when you have a conflict that goes on for so long, being racist is just like the default position. It's like, I don't know how many people in whatever conflict zones Most people in conflict zones don't like the other side. Each one vote for the tribe that they're part of. If you're ultra-Orthodox, you're voting either for the Ashkenazi ultra-Orthodox, that's like European born or ancestry, or to the Mizrahi, that's it's the Arab countries, Muslim country of origin. Both these ultra-Orthodox parties. If you are Ashkenazi, European, but non-Russian, then most likely you vote for center-left. If you're Arab, you vote for the Arabs. That's basically like the Russian-born or Russian ancestry. They vote either for the Russian parties or for the Likud. So it create and Bibi has managed to create an alliance between the so-called liberals, financial liberals, whatever. Yeah, people who believe in whatever free market mumbo jumbo, and and the ultra orthodox. Sorry, free marketers, mumbo jumboers, and the ultra orthodox, and I failed to mention the settlers, the religious who are not ultra orthodox. They have also their own party. So he managed to create this alliance, unbreakable alliance. You just voted. It's very hard to go over to vote to another tribe, because this is like your whole part of your whole identity. So in this way, even though people didn't agree, I heard that this is like a refrain. I don't agree with everything that Netanyahu says, but whatever, blah blah blah, yada 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 yada. Because they can't see themselves. I will vote for Labor or for the other guy, for the left. So that created like an avalanche, a snowball effect, where they could get more and more extreme right wing, even if the population was not. And Bibi never had almost never had favorable ratings. Never. Like before the election, he had like 33 that approved and 40 something, 44, I don't remember exactly, that disapproved. So, and still the margin when it comes to the voting for the parliament was very, very, very slim. So, but now what happened the last time is that unbreakable alliance was broken when the Russian-born Lieberman said, okay, we don't like this alliance, we don't want to go with the ultra-Orthodox. So so this whole unbreakable alliance got broken, and the importance of this unbreakable alliance was to allow Bibi to escape trial, because he's going to go to prison if he doesn't escape trial. It's not a matter of ideology or nothing. So basically, we have 9 parties now in the Knesset. You can divide it with pro-Bibi and anti-Bibi. Not all the people in the anti-Bibi camp agree with each other. Obviously, we have the racist Lieberman and we have the joint list Arab party. They can't work together. But they both agree they don't want Bibi. So he got 55 seats. The other side got 65 seats. The most important thing is to get this motherfucker out of office, and he's like he doesn't know he lost. He doesn't realize he lost. He's like, okay, everybody can join me, and the other guy, you got more votes than me, and your block is bigger than mine, but you can be my Secretary of Defense, and let's all work together. Now he calls him Benny Gantz. He called me Benny. Hey Benny, come on. Just the fucking the other day, you're a traitor. You're a weakling. You're gonna destroy the country. You're the Iranians hacked your phone. The Iranians are for you. You're gonna destroy the whole country. Oh no, Benny, come on, Benny, please, Benny. So pathetic. And he actually broached the topic of postponing the elections to start to initiate a conflict with Gaza. Just think about it for a second. Postpone the elections a few days before the elections because you knew he was losing, to start a conflict. This is really a patriotic guy, right? So now that the magic is gone, the spell is broken. His speech after he lost was incredible. He started like ranting for 5 minutes how the media, the unfair media. When you lose and when you whine, it's not the same as when you win and you whine. It looks very, very different. Go ahead. I need to breathe a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. We're kind of. I think it actually helps that you guys have so many different parties, because we have 2, and so it's like if you don't you hate the Republicans and you're like a Democrat, that's pretty much it. Or like let's say that you're a Republican and like you you know, you are like, okay, you don't like taxes, you maybe want like government out of like business, whatever, but you're not like anti-abortion and you're not religious. But like what happens is all of it gets kind of like packed together into one thing, and you're stuck with all these like people who like don't agree with everything you, or like you don't believe everything you believe. I think that it really like it forces things to become much more like simplistic, whereas like when you have so many different parties, like you have a lot more choice, and I think it makes it harder. Like politicians maybe have to like work a little bit harder to get your vote. Yeah. So
the downside in our system is that minorities have an disproportional influence on what's going on. So the ultra-Orthodox tribe and whatever, my secular tribe, we have very little in common. It's not even like in New York when you see with the ultra-Orthodox just like live among you and you see them on the subway and they work like they have like 50% unemployment. Most of them study, or a lot of them study, like most of the day, study the Torah, get money from the government to study the Torah. They don't go to the military. They don't mix. You don't see them anywhere. They have like their own.
They get paid for that?
They get paid for that. They get paid while we go to the army. They get paid to not go to the army.
Shit.
And they have all these budgets for their schools and stuff and whatever. And even though they're a minority, they decide that we can have stores open on Saturday, that we can't have civil marriage, that we can have civil divorce. So you can get married abroad and come back and then you're married, which is what I did. So you have to leave your country in order to not get married through the religious institution. But when you want to get divorced, no, you have to go through the religious institution. And I had to do that. I'm divorced. This was horrible. Maybe
do women have to get a get if they want to divorce their husbands? Is that
yeah, that's the process. I have to give her a get. I have to tell her as if it's some Harry Potter magic trick. Megoreshet, megoreshet, megoreshet. Banished, banished, banished. I'm very good friends with my ex-wife. I have to tell her that she's banished. But even just like the ceremony, it's this voodoo shit that you have to go through. So if you want to do the voodoo shit, go and do the voodoo shit. I don't mind. But I had to pay money. I had to pay like $300 in order to get divorced in a way that I didn't want to get divorced. So first you go to the court, you get divorced, you sign the paper, whatever. Then you have to go to the religious institution, and there they scolded me that I didn't get married in a religious ceremony. And then they said, whatever, all your nicknames and your dad's nicknames, and you're sure that these are all the nicknames because we have to write it down, because if it's not all the nicknames and you forgot one of the nicknames of your dad, then this whole thing will be null and you won't be able to get divorced. No.
Your father's nicknames?
Yeah, and
what does that have to do with your marriage?
God works in mysterious ways. Come on, Ariela. Who are you to question God?
So how did they get so much control if they're such a minority?
Because
they're a big enough minority that they need.
Yeah, the representation that they have, because the two biggest parties are the two secular parties, and they're always one to the left and one to the right, ostensibly. Even though the Likud in '81 did the peace deal with Egypt, and even though the left wing went out to all kinds of wars, whatever. But since the left can't, politically speaking, from a public perspective point of view, form a government with the Arabs, so that leaves us fewer options. For example, so the head of the Joint Arab Party, he wants to become the head of the opposition, the first Arab head of the opposition. This will be incredible. He will get... This is for Israelis, this is very ironic. He will get the security detail from the Shin Bet. The Shin Bet, that's the FBI in Israel. The Shin Bet, for the Arab population, this is not a good thing, that he will have officers, security, the Secret Service from the Shin Bet going after him. This is like very symbolic. Jewish security officers guarding him, and he will get all the security, how do you call it, memos, how do you call them, like daily briefings, the security briefings. He will get the security brief. This Arab, he will immediately sell all the secrets to Hezbollah, of course, everybody knows that. So this is like very symbolic, very important if he gets to that position. This person, Ayman Odeh, he's pretty remarkable in the way that he can walk a fine line between all the different opinions that he has within his own community. Some of them are nationalistic, Palestinian nationalistic, that I have nothing in common with, and I don't want nothing to do with them because they're very hawkish and anti-compromise. And some of them are religious, and some of them are like me, like whatever, because they're just people, I guess, which is shocking. The ultra-Orthodox, they are like 13%, I think, of Israel, but it's very hard to form a coalition without them, because the Arabs are not in the game. So the pie got, which is now changing, by the way. That's also like the head of the joint list is an incredible guy. He had a great moment before the election when Bibi tried to push the camera bill to allow to film Arabs voting inside. So did you see the picture where he was holding a phone to his face? How do you like them apples? That was an incredible day. And he just badgered him on Twitter and was just like not afraid of him. And we're not used to seeing Arab politicians stand up to Bibi in such a way that I can relate to. Like, just as an anecdote, so I buy my olive oil from this Palestinian guy from Nablus for years, the most annoying guy ever. So one time we started to talk politics, and I see that he broaches to see where I stand, and when he sees that I'm for peace and stuff, he said, I think that Netanyahu is like Hitler. He wants to exterminate all of us. I'm like, oh, okay, you lost me. Sorry. That was a little bit too far. So it's hard for us because it's usually there's a lot of vitriol. And with this guy, Ayman Odeh, he's just strong and firm, and I wish he was prime minister. I was talking like a few months ago to a friend of mine who's a member in the Likud. I told him that I was voting for him the last time. Ayman Odeh. He said, you know what, when he will be prime minister, I will save you. He votes for the Likud. And I only thought about later that I should have told him, I want you to save me now from the fucking guy that you're voting for now. Do you think I can rely on you to fucking save me? Okay, so let's wrap it up now for the public version, and let's continue maybe a little bit more in depth for the patrons. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This is a very, very happy day, especially in 2 weeks from now when he's gonna officially get indicted. That's gonna be a very, very happy day. Very, 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 very happy day. There's no celebrations in the streets just yet because we're still scared that we're going to wake up. We have this nightmare from 1996 when after Rabin was assassinated, also thanks to Bibi and his incitement. Peres, Shimon Peres, former prime minister, president, blah, was leading in the polls, not in the polls, even like in the earlier results, after the election, like at the night of the election. We went to sleep with Peres, we woke up with Bibi. That was Bibi won by 30,000 votes, by less than 1%. So we're still scared, so there are no celebrations, and a lot of people will say, no, we haven't won, like when you want to tell somebody that we won, no, it's a long game. But basically, he lost. That's the important thing, he lost.
I just want to point out for the people listening, because they can't see you. That when you mention Bibi getting indicted, you get this glint in your eye.
I'm almost crying.
Just I can see like the joy and relief and like, oh my God, like he's getting wow. It's like you've come out of a prison. You're like, oh my, there's a sun there. You're like, you get very excited.
Yeah, and I'm still holding back. I'm holding back.
Yeah. I can tell. Like
the moment he's gone, everybody's in Tel Aviv gonna run to the streets and just scream and dance. Okay, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Okay. So thank you everybody for tuning in. If you want the full thing, patreon.com/God Academy. The link is going to be in the description of the podcast. And on Monday, we're posting, we're going back to a regular schedule. It's going to be epidemics in movies. A very cool conversation with Rutger and Ariela. We have one about Harry Potter coming up, I think the week after that, about how Dumbledore is just the worst.
He's terrible.
I hope he gets
He's
indicted.
very incompetent at his job. He should get fired. Well, I mean, he's dead now, so, spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
For anyone who hasn't read
I hasn't read the 6th book. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ariela just killed a mosquito, I think.
I'm trying to kill a moth, but I missed.
A moth? What have the moths ever done to you?
They eat my clothes.
Okay.
And then I get holes and everything.
That's a fair point.